Hey, hi Bin Bin. I'm gonna transfer the host to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey everyone. Oh, I think I will need to rejoin with my personal Zoom account.
Sure, Faven. See you soon. Hi Bin Bin. You should be the host now. Yeah, transfer. Thanks.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see.
Cool. Oh, let's wait for another like 2 minutes. Okay, let's start. So today, we just have two items, or 3 items. So firstly, we go through the first one. So we plan to
adding one more.
Yeah. So for the first one, we plan to move 2 repos from like the personal organization to the Ratify project. Oh, hey Josh.
Hello.
So I guess this one is the Docker plugin developed by Shui, and another one is the container plugin developed by Akash. So I just wonder, do we want to move right now, or we can do it offline?
I think we could probably do the move operation offline, but just want to confirm, I guess let's get confirmation that we should move these into the project.
Yeah, Shui, do you think if we should move your like report to under the Ratify project?
I think we can, and why not?
Yeah, cool.
Hi
Yeah,
Bin
guys,
Bin.
what about you? Yeah, hey,
Question.
Shui.
To receive them in the Ratify project org, is there any action item for me? Like, do I have to monitor any emails or like just the logistic? Because, for example, if Akash were to transfer, right? Because he's not a like owner of the Ratify project organization, theoretically, he would initiate the transfer from his repository, and someone needs to monitor the email to accept the donation from Ratify project. Is that correct, Vayman?
Would you mind rephrase your question, Susan?
Oh, sure. So just from a process perspective, Akash can initiate the transfer, but because he's not a owner on the Ratify project, the transfer wouldn't happen automatically. We need to, like, somebody need to do click on the button to accept the project transfer. Is that the process?
And so the idea is to transfer two ecosystem project, including the Docker Ratify plugin and also the Ratify Container D plugin to the Ratify organization, right? And we will need maybe org level admin or org level maintainer to transfer them according to the proposal.
So
I think the standard, I think the standard process might be the author of the project should raise a proposal in Ratify community, and we can involve Ratify maintainers to vote on the proposal. If we can get the supermajority of approval, then we can accept new projects, new sub-projects, and transfer them to Ratify organization. But currently, we don't have a clear guidance on how the new project donation looks like. But I think we can follow standard process for accepting new project, like using an issue to propose a new project donation.
Sure. Okay. So
There's
Feynman, I
some
can
practice
create the
that
issue.
we are following in the CNCF Notary project.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think Shu have some comments.
I just look at the Ratify project organization. It does not have a .github repo or a community repo. Where should we raise the issue?
Usually we have most issues under the Ratify repo.
So as you can see, for ORAS, we have a community repo. For
Okay.
Notary project, we have a .github repo for the overall stuffs. But here in the Ratify project, we don't have any repos for the community issues.
Oh, so probably we need to first create a community repo first.
That is also my third agenda topic in the list. I'm also thinking that we can create a community or the GitHub repo for all of those governance-related documents. And also related, community-related proposal can be raised there if we can have a dedicated repository for governance-related affairs.
Does the notation have the same like community repo?
As Shui mentioned, Notary project has a .github repo, and Auras has a community repository. It's a bit different, but it's the same. It has the same intention.
Okay, this one. Yeah, so I think we can create one, and then we can follow the standard way to like move the repository.
Yeah, sounds good. Feynman, if you have any references we can follow, I'll take a look too.
Yeah, let me share those two links. I think we can pick one of those two practice in Ratify and maybe have a dedicated repository for governance doc and also governance related proposals.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. Sure, you have hand up.
I think I forgot to lower it up.
Okay. Okay, move on to next. So this one we have discussed in the PR review meeting. So I just added more test cases to this doc. So basically so last week I discussed with E about the user scenarios we want to test. So I just expand like some items into like more smaller use cases. So in general, we for the error handling, we have 3 areas we want to test. First one is the configuration errors, excluding the certificate errors. And second one is the access control error. And third one is the signature verification failures. So for the configuration errors, we will focus on like the 4 CR resources, like KMP, store, verifier, and policy. So I just listed some like possible errors that customer can like face. So and also like we can add more test cases under each section. And then for the access control, we usually the error is happening when we like miss some role assigned to the identity. And the third area is the signature verification. So we already listed like a lot of them, but probably we can add more in case I miss some like user scenarios. So basically, I think we might need to assign like different like user scenarios to like different devs, because I feel it might be too much work for one dev to test everything. Yeah, since everyone is here, so I just wonder if we can do the assignment right now.
Yeah, thanks, Pimpin, for having the list. I think, do you think we should pick the areas that we're least familiar with? Because I feel if we picked an unfamiliar area, then we will come from a perspective of a customer. Instead of having a very familiar area, then we'll be like, oh yes, I know about this area, like this is why. So
Yeah,
I think when we do the assignment, we can like, for example, KMP, like who's got, like I know E have very, he participated in the last round of KMP Bug Bash, so he's pretty familiar with KMP. But yeah, we'll just take this factor as a consideration. Like, for example, KMP, like who is not yet familiar with KMP?
probably Jingchen.
Yeah, Jingchen, are you able to take the KMP errors?
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Shall I just put? I can go ahead and put my name in the assignees. Oh, Bimi, probably you can do it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take note as well. We can just go down the list.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. And for store, store just have. Oh, so yeah, actually, so for the store case, so I was considering that we have like multiple auth providers. So actually, for different auth provider, we can have like different configurations. So for this one, we can expand more into more cases, like for Docker, Azure, or AWS. Probably we we need to ask some help from AWS folks on the testing, but we can do like Docker and Azure test first. So for
Hey,
the store,
Bingbing.
hey, Simon.
Yeah, not just Docker, Azure, and AWS. I believe Ratify is one of the plugin, or this is only for the auth provider.
It's only for the auth provider of the store.
Okay.
Yeah, and actually we support more cases, but I feel these 3 cases are the main use case.
Feynman, are you willing to take this?
I think I can take Docker and Azure. For AWS, I will reach out to Jesse, who is the advocate and principal engineer in ACR team. So I can reach out to Jesse and see whether they are able to take the use cases for AWS.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll put your name down for the store.
And then for the Verify, yeah. For Verify, it includes, for Verify, I think everyone should be familiar with that. So,
Yeah, how about I think he is
uh,
familiar with the references and he cares a lot about like how do we validate that the search store exists when we configure the verifier. So I think potentially E would be interested in testing out the verifier scenarios.
yeah, but he is out this week, and also he also said he will do a fully test on most cases on his own. So I don't know if we should assign some task to him.
I'm sorry, what was that? Like E is going to go through all of them. Is
Yeah,
that?
yeah. Most cases, yeah, he will do another like test. So a round test. So maybe we should do the first round test, and he will do another round of test from a different perspective.
I see. Cool. I can take the verifiers as well.
So I'm not so familiar with cosine, so maybe I can take the cosine verify.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think E can take the policy work.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. And also it's a low priority, so yes, it's totally fine. And for the access control, it should be it's not easy to set up everything, I think.
Yeah, I think Junchen can give this a go. This is a little bit related to KMP as well, to validate the permissions for can you fetch things from the key vault and things like that. Junchen, will you be okay with that?
Yeah, sure. This means these 3, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
And for signature verification, yeah, we have a lot of test cases, so maybe we should split into. Let me check.
There are some timestamping ones in there. Is that like will the behavior change?
I feel for the timestamping, we just list the cases, but we still need to wait for the timestamping support from the notation.
Yeah. We haven't
So
done
yeah,
it.
I think we can ignore these 2 cases for now, and focus on the remaining cases.
I can take some of these here.
Timestamping and revocation related test cases can be tested maybe after several weeks, at least 2 or 3 weeks,
Okay.
because this is still in development in the notary project.
Yeah, thanks for the context, Feynman. Binbin, do you feel like, so we each got a little bit of things that we can get started. How about we leave this unassigned for now, and then we'll go through the other scenarios and see how we go and check back.
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah, because depending on how we go with the other scenario, some of us would have more bandwidth than others.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Cool. We are done with this.
Do we have a time frame that we wanted to complete this by?
We can think back maybe after, or maybe not. So I think, Susan, you are out next week.
Yes, correct. But I think we
Well,
can do a weekly checkpoint. So
yeah, so we can check next community meeting and see the progress.
yeah, sounds good.
Okay, go back to where should we maintain a governance doc? Okay, so this is, I think we just discussed that we will create a community repo and add everything into that repo. Yeah, I wonder if it's the same thing.
Yeah, this topic was added by me. I think the idea is to create a dedicated repo for governance related documents.
Cool. Thank you. Okay. Next one can be periodic refresh. So, we can go back to the PR. Hey Josh, so any updates since the last meeting?
Yeah, update and a question. So I was able to, got a little distracted this week, but made some progress. I was able to figure out how to get the periodic refresh to work from the resource level, so on the reconcile itself, and not necessarily change anything inside the code. And so I had a question with that where I guess the question is, should we have the parameters for, I'm thinking having one for our field would be the proper term, I think, for refreshable, which indicates that the resource itself can be refreshed. So in the case of an inline resource, it wouldn't be. So that would be false. And if it was key vault, it would be. So that's one. And then the other one would be, if it is refreshable, then we can define an interval. And we can define that on the resource level, and we can do that at one or two places. The first and easiest is at the spec level. So it would be, if you look at your little example there, it would be right underneath type or right underneath parameter. There would be a new field there that would have refreshable or interval, and they would be optional. So for inline, they just would be absent, and that absence for the refreshable would be false, so it would be hidden to the user because the default value would be that. And then there wouldn't be any interval with that. So that's the first place that we could put it. The other places we could put it in the parameters. So underneath those, so whether it's inline or the key vault, it could be basically on the same lines as the vault URI. But I don't, from a Kubernetes perspective, know what the ramifications would be, because if you define it at the spec, it's going to be defined per resource, which would be fine. So we could put it there, be easier to parse. We won't have to pull any kind of parameter parser into the reconcile for now. So yeah, that's my question is there a big preference on it being under parameters, or can it be at the higher level right underneath spec? And then, like, is there any real difference between having them in either place? If anybody knows.
Yes, that's a good question. I feel both is fine. So if it's under just the parameters, yeah, I feel it's okay to me.
Okay. Would that be preferred over having it at the same level as parameters? So it'd be at the resource level from a Kubernetes perspective. Either one, the logic's going to trigger at the resource level. Having it right underneath spec indicates more visually that it's at a resource level, because it would be redefined per resource block. So say you were having two resources defined, you'd repeat this section of block here, and one would be inline and one would be key vault. So is the preference to have it under parameters? That would mean we have to pull in some kind of parsing. I think there's a parsing utility already available that we could parse out those values, but they're just there for us if we put them underneath spec. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
So Josh, I think you're mentioning that the refresh anyway happens at the per resource level, right? So
Right.
the actual interval is not determined at the provider level, but at the resource level. So I think what you were saying makes sense to me, where if it made more sense to keep it outside of the parameters, because it's not a parameter associated with this particular provider.
Yeah,
It's
the resource.
associated
Yep.
to the resource. So that would just be my 2 cents.
Okay. All right. That was making sense to me as well. And so yeah, I'll probably chunk up this into several PRs per recommendation from Susan. So the first one will be just creating those 2 additional fields on the spec, so that way we could have some kind of refresh. I was able to figure out how to get it to not refresh for unrefreshable resources, which would be like the inline. So I can put that into one PR, and then we'll move. I'll start working on trying to figure out the other way to kind of do the periodic refresh from the provider itself, and that'll be another set, and that might be broken down further, but there should be a PR soon for at least the resource level refresh. So those are my updates.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Go back to. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's everything on the agenda. Do we have any more topics want to discuss?
I have a short information to share.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't add it to the agenda, but it's a discussion with a potential partner. Last Friday, I had a discussion and a short meeting with an engineer, a security engineer lead from Alibaba Cloud. They are having a POC for Notary project and Ratify on Alibaba Cloud, and also on Alibaba Kubernetes service. So fortunately, their POC, their test cases around verifying the Notary project signature with Ratify and Alibaba Cloud hosted Gatekeeper went well, and they plan to develop a plugin on the notation side first, and then they will provide a verifier to support their Alibaba Cloud secret service credential service and also their key management system. So I think hopefully they might be engaging with the Ratify and also Notary project community in the near future. And we are targeting develop a notation plugin first by end of August and have a POC, have a demo at KubeCon China in Hong Kong.
That's awesome news, Feynman. Yeah, very happy to hear that people are actually building POCs with Ratify and Notary project. Very, very cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna share some details in an email, but that's a fresh discussion with another cloud provider. It's also the biggest cloud provider in China. And I hope they can engage more with Notary project and Ratify and can be a organization level contributor in both communities.
That's good news.
Yeah, thanks for the update, Payment. If they need any support, let us know.
Yeah, I already added that engineer to Ratify Slack channel. If they have any questions, they will post there.
Thank you. Yeah, so I think that's everything on the topic. We we have 30 minutes. That's
That's okay. We can end early. Thanks for
Yeah.
hosting.
Happy July
Yeah.
4th, everyone in the US.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend.
You as well.
Enjoy your long weekend.
Thank you, Bin Bin.
Thank you.
cool. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, everyone.
everyone. Bye.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.